But now it's time for our next speaker. We're going to be having a live discussion with everybody later on if you do have any questions. But our next speaker is really a leader in design. It's Eva Nečasová. She's a maker, artist, designer, and founder of the AI for Children initiative. Eva is an active creator focusing on various fields from designing lighting objects or jewelry to developing video games, lettering comics, illustration, photography, and defining the visual identity of a brand. Her passion is in connecting textile crafts with technologies in interactive installations, founding her own brands along the way. So, standing ovation, please let us welcome Eva Nečasová.
Hello. Hi, I'm really excited to be here with you.
Hear music.
And I want to share my personal story with you. I know, yeah. I'm sorry. But, you know, I was born in 1983. That means basically last century. When I was a kid, that meant that we don't have smartphones or even a computer in home. And I always consider myself as an artist, but you know, I didn't really know what that meant, and I was really into old masters of painting. I love landscape, and although I was trying to find my own voice, and yeah, that is it. That was my voice when I was a teen, and you can see that I wasn't really like cheerful one. In fact, I was not really cheerful. Yeah, but then here I said, okay, let's try to illustrate. I found the illustration technique, so I thought, yep, now I have to learn how to illustrate. And I found so many illustrators. I tried dozens of styles, even the more cheerful. But still, it wasn't me, because I saw everyone else has their own voice, but I wasn't feel like that. So I was a little confused and disappointed. So I said, okay, let's start a new chapter of my life. I want to somehow deal with space, maybe want to sculpt or something. And my parent was like, oh dear, you've been painting on a daily basis for years and now you want to quit. And I said, okay, yeah, I don't care. And yeah, and that was it. That was my first installation. It's so ugly, I know, but it was a start. And since I was into new things, left the painting behind, I started to look like a good idea to experiment a little. So I took selfies as a rabbit for 2 years. And after that, I took selfies as an alien for 1 year. And I was exploring then more in photography how people emotionally react on images they see. Or I was just tasting weird things, and and since I was experimenting with photography, it seemed like a good idea to explore more audiovisuals.
I gotta feel like there's so much of silence in every word I say, feeling like there's nothing so high to be climbing all the way. And even though
yeah, maybe it seems I was experimenting enough, but you know, guys, I was kind of warming up. And when my son was born, that's him, 12 years ago, I found my lights in me. I started to do lightning objects, and that, 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 Yeah, okay. And that's me. In order to stay weird, I made another lightning objects which I named Cancer, or you know, and that's me having the whale. Maybe it seems that there was a COVID those times, but it just terribly smelled. And yeah, but I started to feel that I have to learn more of the techniques. So how to deal with fabrics, learn something about the electrical circuits, soldering. So I made those samples of some lightning objects, and yeah, and there are some others lightning objects, and others, and those ones, and others. Yeah. I made a lot. Yeah. And yeah, and that was the time when I assembled my first 3D printer from a kit. It was a Rebel 2. No one knows it these days, and took me a year to make it work. And it was a completely new approach, but not only to my lights, because I realized that I can also design a jewelry. And that was my first collection, which I called Black, because you see I am into black things and I like geometry stuff. So yeah, this was completely 3D printed. And then somehow I felt that I reached its limits of 3D printing. But I was still feeling like that jewelry vibe. So I made another collection, which I called Myth, and it's laser cut it this time. And meanwhile, I was like, yeah, let's do some computer game. And I called it The Legend of the Spirit Bird. And I had this story for quite a long time in my head, and that art was not mine. It was the original art was by Petra Valochová, which is Czech artist, and we work on that game with a team of amazing people from Charles Games, which is indie game studio based in Prague, and now I'm a director there. And yeah, but we never finished that game, but we did some others. For example, Digistory Snella, it's about cyberbullying. Maybe you played in your own school. Or Train to Sachsenhausen, because we do serious games. It's about serious topics. And yeah, but back to my lights. Oh no. Oh, is it? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Oh. Yeah, did I mention that I love comics book? Because I do love comic books and I do lettering. So that basically means that I digitize handwritten fonts and work with them in books. And I cooperate with some Czech publishers, and those are the books which I did, like lettering. But back to my lights. I have realized that I can make them more interactive. So with my friend Ota, we created a few interactive installations. We used sensors and electronic prototyping platforms to make them react with people. So yeah, it could be this. And I don't know. And it also seemed like a good idea to scan in 3D my lights. I don't know why, but it seems maybe I will use it someday. We were talking about the technique. It's called photogrammetry in the last talk. So yeah, I used the same technique. And you can buy this by your own. The software is completely free, and you can download it on a website. Yeah, and last 3 years, me and my friend Ota, we are working on a larger interactive installation, which I call the system. It is 3 meters high beech trunk, which I found in the forest, and trying to get rid of those bugs and all that stuff that lived inside that. And there's a simple idea behind that. It's that all entities are systems, and those systems interact with other systems and within them in one endless task, and endless complicated task. And this is how it's been made. We use sensors and other electronic prototyping platforms. It's really complicated to make it work. And then I don't know if I ever finish it, but yeah, I hope so. Yeah. And also through this tree interface, visitors can communicate with the general algorithm, which some of us may call God. And this is how I imagine the algorithm.
That existence, the physical universe, is basically playful. There is no necessity for it whatsoever. It isn't going anywhere. That is to say, it doesn't have some destination that it ought to arrive at.
And that's it. And now let's imagine together what I would be saying here on that stage 100 years ago, or maybe 50. Would I stick with illustration or be a painter or something else, or because perhaps more than I'm an artist, I'm really the technology enthusiast. And I'm amazed by the possibilities what emerging technology brings us. And so the other opposite side, we do, imagine what I would be saying here in 20 or 50 years. Oh, I'm sorry. I just forgot what I want to say, okay. But one thing is certain, we don't have the map of our future actions, but can you imagine what all these emerging technology will bring us? I mean, the artificial intelligence in games, in design, in art. Well, let's see. Okay, thank you.